Hi, I'm Jordana Brewster, and you're watching Delmarva Life.
There's a piece of fur and there's a dog in there somewhere, too. Okay, so if you have a dog, then this will be of particular interest to you. Chain link, no? Wood, no? How about vinyl or aluminum? Fences. They come in all different materials, sizes, and shapes, so how do you know which one is best for you?
Well, Delmarva Life's Cleo Green spoke with the experts at Pierce Fence Company in Dover to find out.
Curb appeal, security, privacy, and protection. These are just some of the reasons you may want a fence, but with so many choices, the process can be intimidating. That's where Bob Pierce, owner of Pierce Fence of Dover, comes in. He says it all comes down to why you want the fence in the first place.
The younger ones want it for their children, to keep them out of the road. Pets are a big thing. You know, they have their animals. The one we're doing now is a small dog. They want to be able to let him out the back door and not worry about him going out into the road. They want to mark their property lines, their boundaries. They want to show this is my property. Privacy. They want to, have privacy. If there's a swimming pool, there's a law that you have to have a fence around the swimming pool. And then if you want the privacy from the neighbors in a close neighborhood, you put the privacy fences up. Security is another reason.
Once the why is out of the way, you can then decide the what. Bob says your options have expanded over the last 4 decades.
We've been in business 45 years, so when we first started it was chain link fences and wood fences, and now we still do those, but vinyl is kind of the main thing that we do now. There's aluminum, there's a simulated stone fence that we use, there's all kinds of things that you can do.
Another factor you have to consider when picking what kind of fence you want is how much work do you want to do after it's installed.
With the vinyl, you just may have to power wash it once in a while. It'll get a little, stuff on it, dirt and stuff that you have to wash off, but it's not that bad. Chain link will rust eventually. You have to paint it, but it'll last 15 or 20 years before you need to do that. Wood, there's more maintenance than the rest because it's going to warp and split and crack, and if you want to stain it to make it last longer, there's always work to do with that. So that's the most maintenance of a fence. And of course, a big issue that I found out when I fenced in my own house, you got to take care of the weeds under the fence. So you got to weed eat. So it creates a little work there.
Then there are your neighbors.
If it's a wood fence, for example, they might want the good side facing them because they're paying for it, or they can put it up the other way so the neighbor will have the best look. But the vinyl fences are good neighbor fences, kind of both sides look the same.
But no matter what the job, small or large, before a fence can be installed, Bob says you will need a building permit. Fence permits may be issued either on the city or county level.
You've got to keep it on the boundary line. Different homeowners associations have different rules. Every area is a little different. The county has rules, the state has rules. It just depends on where you're at and what you're doing.
And once that is squared away, the digging begins. Bob says every job size differs, which affects the cost of the installation and how long it may take to complete.
The digging's the key. You never know. You can't look at the ground and say, oh, the digging will be easy or it'll be hard. So it really depends on that. We try to, put it up as fast as we can, but it all depends on that digging.
If you're still on the fence about getting a fence installed, Bob says keep this in mind.
A lot of people do their own. There's some inexpensive fences out there, and people are trying to save money is why they do it. I've done it myself over the years, but I've learned, after trial and error that I really shouldn't do that, and they probably shouldn't either.
You said the most important part to a fence is the gate, and why is that?
Well, that's the moving part. That's the part that you go in and out, and that's the part that can break. So you got to make sure it's installed properly. If not, you're going to have problems down the road. You go to get in your fence and the gate won't open. It does you no good. So that's the moving part. That's, if anything on a fence tears up, that's what usually would go wrong.
And one more thing you may want to consider. Bob says if you can afford the more durable fences like the vinyl or aluminum, choose those because a good fence that is attractive will add to your property value. And if you would like more information about Pierce Fence of Dover or more about the types of fence they offer, go to our website, delmarvalife.com, and click on the show tab. Now let's step inside the house. We're off to the kitchen to put together a pasta dish full of flavor. From peas to prosciutto. This sounds so good. Plus, find out when and where you can get 3-course meals for a steal.
Oh yeah, but don't forget dessert. You can't forget dessert. But don't you just hate it when your ice cream in your freezer gets those little ice crystals? Rachel Ray is going to show us how to get rid of them for good.
And later, let's kick off the weekend on a high note. We'll announce today's winner in our Delmarva Life Summer Countdown. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.